Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, along with Phil Altvater. We check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. Fred, hi, how are you this week?
Carlos, we have been seeing a lot of strange things happening in the golf world over the past few months, but the thing that we're going to talk about tonight, this takes the cake for me. I never in a million years imagined that Phil Mickelson would not be at the Masters. Never imagined it. And I can't figure it out. I got questions, Carlos. I got a lot of questions.
I think everybody does. And, golf fans were surprised. Some were even shocked when news broke Monday that Phil Mickelson would not be playing in the next month's Masters. Well, you know what? This shouldn't happen. Mickelson has been in the news for all the wrong reasons the last few months. We have documented this at the max. His comments to Golf Digest about the PGA Tour being obnoxiously greedy were just the start. Coming from a World Golf Hall of Famer who has earned almost $95 million from a tour that has given him the platform to earn what you can estimate at $700 million plus in endorsements. I mean, he didn't stop there. If you might remember, he said here in an interview with longtime golf writer Alan Shipnuck that appeared on the Fire Pits Collective website, he was interested in joining the Saudi-backed LIV Golf International Series, despite voicing the Saudis were scary mother bleep, right? Let's leave it there. Because of their history of human rights violations, he even admitted to enlisting 3 other players to pay for attorneys to write the Optars Tour's operating agreement. All of this, apparently, that's allegedly, right? Another lefty lowlight. Perhaps the biggest flop of his career for the flop master, right? Never mind that he has won 3 green jackets, including earning his long-awaited first major in 2004, that he has become one of the most popular players of his generation. There's no doubt about that. Anytime we talk about this, not only us, anybody, it goes off the roof. That he made history last year at the PGA Championship, less than a year ago, when he became, at 50, the oldest player to win a major championship. He has accomplished this feat with a club in his hand. It's when the 6-time major champion starts talking that he gets in trouble, and it's not the first time. So Mickelson did not as much withdraw from the Masters, and we're going to talk about different scenarios here, but could it be that Augusta National's officials either told him or strongly encouraged him not to come? Because that's according to some sources that I've been reading. The last thing they want is Mickelson to drive down Magnolia Lane knowing the circus that was coming with him, right? Moreover, the PGA Tour has not admitted to this, but according to those same sources, he has been suspended for the tour for that obnoxiously greedy comments and for admitting that he helped a rival tour gain traction. Why else will he miss the players with the largest purse for a U.S. golf tournament? So I'm going to stop there, Fred, and give it up to you. But fans are shocked. And of course, anytime something related to Phil Mickelson makes news, he's not at the Masters.
Yeah, this is just so curious to me. I want to say that he's probably under suspension, but that doesn't really apply to the Masters because they make their own rules. So let me just start from the beginning here. Phil is a reigning PGA champion, and he skips the players. Now the Masters. Is he going to defend at the PGA Championship next month? Is he going to be allowed to do that? This is the first time that I've ever seen a reigning PGA champion who is not injured physically. Well, maybe he's a little mentally injured, that will skip the Masters, the most exclusive and admired golf tournament on the planet. As you said, he's a three-time winner of the event and has said on several occasions that the Masters is the one tournament that gives him butterflies when he drives down Magnolia Lane. You know he loves this thing, right? By the way, yes, he has 3 Masters green jackets, but he's also finished second or third 6 more times as well. Since 1995, that's 26 years, folks, in case you're a little shy on math, he's finished first, second, or third at the Masters 9 times. You think he doesn't care about the Masters, about Augusta National? A guy with his ego, it has to be killing him that he's not going to be there. At the age of 51, time is beginning to grow a little short for Phil to be a factor at any PGA Tour event, least of all the demanding Augusta National course for the Masters. Phil has won 45 PGA Tour events, 8th all-time on the career wins list. 6 of those titles were majors. The only major he hasn't won, the US Open, he's been runner-up that 6 times. Phil is second only to Tiger Woods on the career money list with 94 million. Plus, he's earned several $100 million more in endorsements over his 30 years on tour. He's done it all, but his latest stunt at trying to use Greg Norman's LIV International Series to gain an advantage on the PGA Tour over media rights seems to have completely backfired on him. And now he's decided to skip the best tournament in the world. So I have questions, Carlos, as I mentioned. So number one, is he under tour suspension? Well, that could very well be, but the PGA Tour does not make the rules or decide who can play or not in the Masters. Even if Jay Monahan had requested the Masters deny Phil a spot, I doubt very seriously if they would have complied, because Phil's a 3-time champion. The membership at Augusta National marches to the beat of their own drummer. They don't take suggestions from anyone, not even the PGA Tour commissioner, Jay Monahan. If he is under suspension, a part of the deal was that he had to withdraw from the Masters. You know, Jay is dishing out some pretty tough love here because that has to sting. And I think Phil's comments about Jay Monahan, I think they stung Jay. So maybe it is a little tit for tat. I don't know. You mentioned, did someone at Augusta National talk to him and ask him to step aside? I see this as highly unlikely, but it's possible. These are business guys. They don't like to rock the boat. They see the business side of things. Phil is the most popular golfer outside of Tiger Woods, and the Masters would certainly want him there if he wanted to be. Plus, he's a past champion. Did I mention that he won this thing 3 times? Is it simply a case of him holding to his word and stepping completely away from the game for a time to clear his head and get back to competitive golf rather than political maneuvering? Or is this finally a sign? Is this a sign that he is ready to align with Greg Norman and the LIV International Tour, and he's splitting all ties with the American Tour? Is this a sign for that? I don't know, Carlos, but the biggest question of all, here's the biggest, so I'm going to turn it back to you. Is he going to be missed?
At this moment, I don't think so. And if you read on Twitter, they're the ones that are shocked and all that, but I was reading a tweet by Paige Spiranac that was saying, who cares about Phil Mickelson? All I want to know if Tiger's going to play, right? And I found that funny because then I started looking at the Masters list, and Tiger, unlike the Phil, is not under the past champions not playing. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that Tiger's going to play. It may mean that he might not have made his mind yet about it. But
I think he's got till next Friday, right? He's got till a week from Friday to decide.
Right. So, but it's interesting just to throw that out there, right? But the thing that I've always hated this thing about not the PGA Tour not disclosing that long-standing policy of not announcing discipline against players. That's not being transparent. You really want to run a tight ship, you make players accountable. And that way you're transparent with your fans and you announce, okay, this is happening like every other sport, this happened and we're disciplining for that. Nobody would be at fault or saying to Jay Monahan that you were at fault by disciplining Phil by what he says or what he was trying to do. It's your tour, you're a private organization, you can do whatever you want, and that's okay. It's just like the Masters. They're run by the powers that be at Augusta National and not a PGA Tour. So they have the ability to invite or disinvite whoever they want. So we don't know really what happens, if it's because of a suspension or really that Augusta National, because Mickelson is in this sticky situation, isn't as much as because of his recent comments, but the last 2 decades, there has been a conglomerate of comments and things that have happened on him. Like he's the subject of 2 upcoming books. One, which is that biography by Chipnock that will come out in May. I really want to read it. And the other one, but the other books, and that one perhaps is the more revealing, is a quote written by former friend and legendary gambler Billy Walters, who was sentenced in 2017 to 5 years in jail for making more than $43 million in trades from Dean Foods through inside information. So at Walter's urging, Mickelson made more than 931,000 trading stocks. So not only that, I mean, there has been other things that have happened. So I think this is a culmination of a lot of things. And maybe Augusta National said, you know, I love publicity like everybody else, but I really don't want this to become a circus. This has to be all about the Masters, not about what Phil Mickelson is or what he said and everything. Because we know that the next time that Phil Mickelson pick up a club inside a tournament, it's going to be all like, oh, so what makes you come back now? What about what you said? Do you really mean that now those were reckless comments? I mean, did you really mean what you said about the LIV? How about Greg Norman? All those questions are going to come to it. So it's not going to be about the tournament. It's going to be about Phil Mickelson. So that's why I say maybe they said, you know, I don't like this, you know. Like I said, they are the powers that be, and they can do whatever they want. And like you mentioned, they don't have to beat at to beat at the drum of the PGA Tour. So what's going to happen? The Players Championship, again, that's the PGA Championship, is not under the PGA Tours. It was the Players, which makes sense maybe why he didn't play it, because the PGA Tour said, you know, part of the suspension is this. But now we have to look forward to see what's going to happen. Is he going to be the defending champion, like you mentioned, that because he's not injured, but he said, you know, I'm just not playing. Is that going to happen next month? If that actually happens, I don't think he's going to step foot anymore on the PGA Tour, and he will be with Greg Norman and LIV Investments after that.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. I do like one of the things that you said, that, you know, the Masters, those guys guard that brand, the Masters and Augusta National. They guard that with their lives, right? And so nothing can be bigger than the Masters and Augusta National the week of that tournament. And so you make a good point there. They might have just thought, you know what, Phil, you're going to be bring too much of a circus here. It's going to be too much of a media, you know, riot. We don't really need that. I'm sorry. You know, we would like you not maybe to come this week. So that might be an answer. I don't know. But let's just think about this for a minute, okay? Just look at it from kind of a dollars and cents kind of thing, and from exactly where Phil's at right now. He's 51. A huge name in the world of golf, huge. Tiger Woods is the only guy that's bigger than him, right? From a media or a publicity standpoint, that could bring the kind of attention to the new LIV International Series that Phil could bring. You know, Greg didn't have any success bringing anybody else. So maybe he takes all that money he offered everybody else and says, Phil, look here, you come over here, I will give you 50 million or 80 million or whatever, okay? Phil's not going to make that. He's lost all his major sponsors. So he's not going to make that on the PGA Tour over the next 5 years. He's going to kill his reputation and his legacy, which is considerable on the PGA Tour. I mean, Jay might just be mad enough to wipe him from the record books, like he never even existed. I don't know that would happen, but I mean, it's a possibility. So my point is, with $400 million to spend and burning a hole in Greg Norman's pocket, Phil could be the guy to reap that cash that everyone else has already said no to. And maybe finally, once and for all, get out of Tiger's shadow and go it on his own on the LIV series. Think of Joe Namath leading the AFL to prominence by winning the Super Bowl, right? The AFC was just a minor league compared to the NFC, right, back then. And Joe Namath kind of willed that to happen and really drove football to a new place. Phil could be the guy, even at 51 years old, and it's only 8 events. It's not like you got to play 30 events or even 25. It's only 8 events. If you're gonna pay me $80 million, I only got to pay eight events. I'm in. And especially if everybody else is pissed off at me, I might as well go and do it. What do you think?
Man, it's so difficult because I have to say to what you're saying as well, and I have been asking this because as you see during this last 2 months, what you can note is that there has been a lack of support for him from his fellow players. No one, 0 players have come to his defense. Most notably, Rory McIlroy, as you remember, he said his comments were naive, selfish, egotistical, ignorant. That's still in my mind there. And,
you got that memorized. That's great.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I loved it when he said it because
pros don't say that. Pros don't say that about other pros. It does not.
But Rory, that for him to say it that way, definitely there is some sentiment from the players coming to it. So what will be his legacy? Right now, we don't know. We know that he has been one of the most polarizing players in professional golf. Players love that go for broke style. Okay, that willingness of him for signing autographs, the thumbs up all the time. That gesture. That, of course, that's a steal from Arnold Palmer. But most of the players have rolled out their eyes to his antics, and it's a shame, really, that it has come to this because whether we like him or not, he's a legend of the game, right? And you never, even with Tiger, you don't like to see them exposing their weaknesses. And he has done countless good deeds during his career, raised lots of money for charity, but that in all the games and all the tournaments that he has won, doesn't seem that is what he's going to be remembered for these days. So what is he going to do, and what would be the best thing that he can do? The best thing would be finally, like you're saying, to step out of Tiger's shadow and try to do his own thing at 51, go with Greg Norman. It seems like that is maybe the possibility. I mean, that what will Phil do next is no longer a marketing slogan, right? It's just a clear reality. We do not know. But if he is going to do something to return to the PGA Tour, he really has to do the most incredible PR image remaking ever made. Okay. We've seen others like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I mean, there's been countless of superstars that have gone the bad way, or have even Tiger with the scandals that he has gone through. Still, people love him, right? I mean, his people love him or hate him, but he mostly is the man that moves the needle, right? So whether Phil Mickelson is able to come back to the PGA Tour, he'll need a super makeover like no other superstar has ever gone through. So the best and easiest way would be, let me just go to the Premier Golf League, earn my money there, and try to build something new. That's just the way I see easy for him now. Will he defend on the PGA Championship in May at Southern Hills? That's no longer a certainty, Fred.
Yep. I'm really curious to see what happens next month. If he's not going to play in the Masters, is he going to play in the PGA? And I just, this whole thing, you told me that he probably would not play in the Masters. I said, there's no way he's going to play in the Masters. He loves that place. He's going to do it. But it almost makes my head explode to think that Phil Mickelson will not play in the Masters as a past champion, as the defending PGA champion, or the reigning PGA champion going to the Masters, already missing the Players Championship. How long do you sit out? What do you do? I just can't. I got to think he's got a plan. I mean, it's been long enough. He's had to be with his people. They have to have a plan. I just can't wait for him to share it with us and see where he actually ends up.
Well, we'll find out, and as usual, we'll be all ears and all eyes trying to find out anything about this, because definitely there's more questions to be answered than what we have here. So anyway, any final words before we close?
No, maybe you can get one of these pictures of where's Waldo, and we'll put Phil's face on. Where's Phil?
That's definitely what will Phil do next.
Stick him in the magnolia bushes behind the 12th green, peeking out.
Yeah, I remember the game "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?" We haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you the latest in the world of golf news and information. Remember to subscribe to our channel. It's right down there on the information. So thank you for joining us.